conflict. Gunfire rang out across parts of Goma, the largest city in the east.
Are you ready? Join us for the Achievers Coaching Academic Summit 2020.
Welcome to the broadcast of world news from Sumtv, the pulse of the nation. You can also follow us on Facebook at Sumtv and on YouTube at Super Media TV. I am Abraham Manager with the news. Declaration of war. M23 rebels claim seizing KDR Congo city of Goma. Two United Nations sources said that Congolese and Rwanda troops have also exchanged fire, risking rapid escalation of the conflict. Gunfire rang out across parts of Goma, the largest city in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, hours after Rwandan-backed M23 rebels said they have seized a desperate United Nations Security Council calling for an end to the offensive. The news comes as two UN sources said that DRC and Rwanda troops have also exchanged fire along the shared border on Monday, risking a rapid escalation of the conflict amid the advance of the M23 fighters. 6 peacekeepers killed fighting rebels in eastern Congo, official says, as rebel closing on Goma. Fighting with M23 rebels in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo left 6 United Nations peacekeepers dead, UN officials said Saturday. 2 South African peacekeepers were killed Friday, while a Uruguayan Blue Helmet was killed Saturday, a UN official told the Associated Press. The official spoke on condition of anonymity because they were authorized to speak on the matter publicly. Additionally, 3 Malawian peacekeepers were killed in eastern Congo, United Nations in Malawi said in a statement Saturday. United Nations Security Council moved up an emergency meeting on the escalating violence on Sunday morning. Congo requests the meeting, which was originally scheduled for Monday. M23 has made significant territorial gains in recent weeks, encircling the eastern city of Goma, which has around 2 million people and is a regional hub for security and humanitarian efforts. The United Nations said it will temporarily relocate non-essential staff from Goma, such as administrative staff. Essential personnel remains on the ground, sustaining critical operations such as food distribution, medical assistance, shelter, and protection for vulnerable communities, the UN statement read. M23 is one of the 100 armed groups that have been vying for a foothold in mineral-rich eastern Congo along the border with Rwanda. In a decade-long conflict that has created one of the world's largest humanitarian crises. On Thursday, M23 took control of the town of Sake, which is only 27 kilometers, 16 miles west of Goma, and one of the last main roads into the provincial capital still under government control, according to United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. South Africa Department of Defense confirmed the death of the 2 South African peacekeepers in a statement Saturday. It said 7 South African soldiers from the Southern African Development Community Mission, also known as SAMI DRC, were also killed during clashes with M23 over the last 2 days. After 2 days of fierce fighting with the M23 rebel group in the eastern DRC, the South African contingent, along its counterpart, were able to halt the advancement of the rebel group towards Goma, South Africa's Department of Defense added. Since 2021, Congo's government and allied forces, including SAMID and United Nations troops, have been keeping M23 away from Goma. The United Nations Peacekeeping Force, also known as MONUSCO, entered Congo more than 2 decades ago and has around 14,000 peacekeepers on the ground. South Africa's second biggest party, the Democratic Alliance, said Saturday an additional 18 South African soldiers were injured in the clashes with M23. The rebel offensive coincided with the inauguration of U.S. President Donald Trump. The party statement read, the United States have previously played a key role in attempting to protect civilians in eastern Congo, making several high-level statements and visits, said Kate Hickson, Advocacy Director for Africa at the Amnesty International USA. The Rwanda-backed M23 is clearly exploiting the presidential transition in the US to advance on Goma, putting thousands more civilians at risk, Hickson told the Associated Press. The Uruguayan military, in a statement issued Saturday, identified its member killing Congo Rodolfo Alvarez, was part of the Uruguayan 4th Battalion. The unit, according to the statement, is working uninterruptedly to comply with the United Nations mandate, as well as to guarantee the evacuation of non-essential civilian and military personnel from the city of Goma. Airport evacuated as rebels intensify fighting in DRC. Goma is the capital and the largest city of the North Kivu province in the country's eastern region. The M23 rebels advanced towards Goma Sunday, prompting thousands of civilians to flee. Government forces fought to present the city's capture. Now, who are M23? M23 is named after the March 23, 2009 agreement to end the previous Tutsi-led uprising in eastern Congo. The group, which is allegedly backed by Rwanda, launched a new rebellion in 2022 and has intensified fighting with the Congolese forces since the turn of the year. The rebel group accused the Congolese government of not fulfilling its part of the peace deal, fully integrating Congolese Tutsi into the army and administration. Congo has severed diplomatic ties with Rwanda as the rebel movement was said to have seized several territories in the eastern region. DRC has demanded sanctions from Rwanda against Rwanda, alleging that the country's forces have crossed into its territory, which is tantamount to a declaration of war. More Rwandan troops have crossed the 12th and 13th border post between Goma in the DRC and Gisenyi in Rwanda, entering our territory and broad daylight in an open and deliberate violation of our national sovereignty, Teresa Wagner, Congolese foreign minister, told the United Nations Security Council on Sunday. This is a frontal assault, a declaration of war that no longer hides behind diplomatic artifice. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, has called on Rwandan forces to withdraw from the DRC and all support for M23 fighters. He calls on the M23 to immediately cease all hostile actions and withdraw from occupied areas. He further called on the Rwandan Defense Forces to cease support to the M23 and withdraw from DRC territory. A statement issued by Stephen Dujarric, Guterres spokesperson, reads. Putin's ally Lukashenko declared winner of Belarus votes that West called a charade. Belarusian leader and Russian ally Alexander Lukashenko extended his 31-year rule on Monday after electoral officials declared him the winner of a presidential election that Western governments rejected as a sham. Lukashenko faced no serious challenge from the four other candidates on the ballot, took 86.8% of the vote according to initial results. European politicians said the vote was neither free nor fair because independent media had died in the former Soviet Republic and all leading opposition figures have either been jailed or forced to flee abroad. The people of Belarus have no choice. It is a big day for all those who love for freedom and democracy, German Foreign Minister Annabella Baerbock posted on X. Exiled opposition leader Vilana Tsikhanouskaya called for the expansion of Western sanctions against Belarusian companies and individuals involved in repressing opponents of Lukashenko and supplied munitions for Russia's war efforts in Ukraine. As long as Belarus is under Lukashenko or Putin's control, there will be a constant threat to the peace and security of the entire region, she said. EU Foreign Affairs Chief Kaja Kallas and Enlargement Commissioner Martha Kohl said in a statement the bloc will keep imposing restrictive and targeted measures against the regime while supporting civil society and exiled opposition. Asked about the jailing of his opponent, Lukashenko said on Sunday that they have chosen their own fate. He denied that his decision to release more than 250 people convicted of extremist activity was a message to the West to see an easing of his isolation. I don't give a damn about the West, he told the Rambling news conference that lasted well over 4 hours. We have never refused relations with the West. We have always been ready, but you did not want this. So what should we do? Bow before you occur on our knees. Throughout his career, Lukashenko has managed to make himself a useful ally to Russia and extract vitamins in the form of clean oil and loans, which while preventing his country of 9 million people from being swallowed up by its much larger neighbor. But in the war in Ukraine has tied him more closely than ever to Putin, whose invasion was launched in part from Belarusian territory. Putin has also deployed Russian tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus. Despite Lukashenko's denial, opponents and political analysts interpret his prisoner parole as a move to start repairing ties with the West, and his latest re-election as a bid to restore its legitimacy and get major European countries and the US to return their ambassador to Minsk for the first time in years. Human rights group Vyazna, which is banned as an extremist organization in Belarus, says there are still about 1,250 political prisoners in the country. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said on Sunday that Belarus has just unilaterally released an innocent American whom he named as Anastasia Neufer. He gave no further details about the case, which has not previously been made public. World leaders to join commemorations marking 80th anniversary of Auschwitz liberation. World leaders will be in Poland Monday to mark Holocaust Memorial Day and the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Nazi Germany Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. Britain monarch King Charles, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, and French President Emmanuel Macron are among those attending the event, which will begin in the tent erected over the former death camp infamous entrance gate. All of Auschwitz remaining survivors are invited to the commemorations and can bring one person for support. We are fully aware of how physically demanding and emotionally taxing attending a commemoration event at the site of the former camp can be for them, the Auschwitz Memorial and Museum said in a statement. Michael Boston, who survived for 7 months inside Auschwitz as a child, said that nothing will be easy about returning. One of the symbols of the 80th anniversary is a freight train car which will be placed directly in front of the main gate. The train car is dedicated to the memory of the approximately 420,000 Hungarian Jews who were deported to Auschwitz. Approximately 1.1 million people were murdered at the concentration camp from 1940 to 1945. Many of them Jews, but also other victims of the Third Reich, including Poles, the Roma, and Soviet prisoners of war. The United Nations as the International Holocaust Memorial Day in 2005. Observed annually, it marks the liberation of Auschwitz in 1945 and remembers the 6 million Jews who lost their lives under the Nazis. The museum said that the event on Monday offers a chance for shared commemoration and global reflection. It comes at a time of mounting anti-Semitism in Europe, fueled by conflict in the Middle East. We saw Israel launch a war on Gaza in response to terror attacks carried out by Palestinian military group Hamas on Monday 7, 2023. There have been an increase in anti-Semitic incidents in Europe since October 2023, with some Jewish community organizations reporting an increase of more than 400%, according to a survey from the European Union Agency for Fundamental Rights published in June. Of those surveyed by the FRA, 76% say they hide on a Jewish identity at least occasionally, and 34% avoid Jewish events or sites due to feeling unsafe. Europe is witnessing a wave of anti-Semitism, partly driven by the conflict in the Middle East. This severely limits Jewish people in our ability to live in safety and with dignity, FRA Director Sumtv Rauchi said. Events in the Middle East has prompted a surge in Islamophobic incidents across Europe, including arson, verbal and physical abuse, and the targeting of mosques. Colombia backs down deportation flights after Trump tariff threats. Colombia has backed down from a looming trade war with the United States hour after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened Bogota with tariffs and visa restrictions for turning away U.S. military aircraft carrying deported migrants. The climb down late on Sunday came after Colombia President Gustavo Petro had announced retaliatory tariffs on U.S. imports and insisted he will not accept migrants who were not treated with dignity and respect. In a late-night news conference, Colombia Foreign Minister Luis Gilberto Murillo said officials had overcome the impasse and will accept citizens deported from the U.S. A White House statement said Colombia has agreed to all of Trump's terms, including unrestricted acceptance of all illegal aliens from Colombia returned from the United States, including on U.S. military aircraft without limitation or delay. Today's event made clear to the world that America is respected again, the White House said. You will never rule us. Washington and Bogota have been poised for a damaging trade war after Trump announced he will hit Colombia imports with a 25% emergency tariff, rising to 50% tariff from next week in response to Petro's refusal to accept the deportation flight. Trump also said he will impose a travel ban and immediate visa revocations and visa sanctions on government officials, as well as their family members and supporters, and enhanced border inspections of all Colombian nationals and cargo. These measures are just the beginning. We will not allow the Colombian government to violate its legal obligations with regard to the acceptance and return of the criminals they forced into the United States, Trump said on the social media network Truth Social. Trump later posted an image appearing to show himself wearing a pink suit and a fedora while standing in front of Mr. reading FAFO, an acronym for Around and Find Out. Petro swiftly responded to Trump's announcement by promising to impose retaliatory tariff of up to 50%. In a lengthy diatribe on X, Petro, a former member of the leftist M19 armed rebel movement, said he did not like traveling to the U.S. as it is a bit boring, though he acknowledged his appreciation for what Whitman, Paul Simon, and Noam Chomsky. My land is made up of goldsmiths who worked in the time of the Jewish shell pharaohs and of the fine artists in the world, Inchere bequeathed, Petro said. We will never rule us. The warrior rode our line, shouting freedom, who is called Bolivar, opposes us. Petro has said earlier he has refused the deportation flight to send a message that the U.S. cannot treat Colombian migrants as criminals. I cannot allow migrants to remain in a country that does not want them, but if that country sends them back, it must be with dignity and respect for them and for our country, he said in a post on X, which included a new footage showing deportees in Brazil at an airport with their hands and feet restrained. Oliver de la Costa Stunkel, an international relations professor at Fundaco Getulio Vargas in Sao Paulo, Brazil, said while Trump may get his way with Latin America's country in the short term, his aggressive tactics could push leaders in the region to seek out alternative partners to Washington. Leaders across Latin America will look at this moment and will think increasingly well risks of being too dependent on the U.S. Turkel told Al Jazeera. They will seek to diversify their partnership because For weaker countries, dealing with Washington is very challenging, and the best way to increase your leverage when negotiating with Trump and expand your room for maneuver is to have alternatives to the US. It is to not be in a situation where you're so dependent that you have nowhere to run. Stewart said that Latin American leaders will take note of the vulnerability of Mexico and Canada, which Trump has threatened to eat a 5% tariff over what he claimed is their failure to stop the flow of drugs and undocumented migrants. So everybody's looking at Mexico and Canada and says, I want to avoid being Mexico and Canada because they can't really do anything when they're pressured by Trump, he said. So I think in the medium and long term, countries will be key to strengthen their ties to other powers around the world. I think that includes Europe, but mostly China. It also includes Russia. I don't think that they should be seen as anti-American move. I think even for American leaders will actually do that. Earlier on Sunday, Trump borders expressed confidence that countries locked down to take back their citizens will relent under US pressure. In Colombia, Ivan Duque, who served as Colombia president from 2018 to 2022 under the banner of the right-leaning Democratic Central Party, said his rival has committed an act of immediate irresponsibility by challenging US sovereignty without attempting dialogue. Colombia, which counts the US as its biggest trade partner, is one of the minority of nations with a trade deficit with the US. US export to Colombia in 2022 was worth $8.7 billion compared with imports of $24.8 billion, according to the Office of the United States Trade Representative. As part of a burst of activity to follow through on Trump's campaign pledge to crack down on undocumented migration, his administration has begun using military aircraft to support deportation flights arranged by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. On Friday, two Air Force C-17 cargo planes carrying about 160 deportees touched down in Guatemala, making it one of the first countries known to accept the flight. Embassy reports on Friday that Mexico has denied permission to a military plane carrying deportees. The report, which quoted three unnamed sources, said it was unclear why Mexico has refused the flight. Following the publication of the report, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said in a post on X that Mexico has accepted a record of 4 deportation flights in a single day. Pete Hegseth confirmed as U.S. Defense Chief in tiebreaker Senate vote. Hegseth's nomination has been rocked by allegations of alcohol abuse and sexual misconduct. Three Republican senators defied U.S. President Trump voting against Hegseth, who faces allegations of sex misconduct and alcohol abuse. Pete Hegseth has been confirmed as the United States Defense Secretary, with Vice President J.D. Vance casting the votes to break a 50-50 tie, underscoring the controversies over his nomination, which has been rocked by allegations of alcohol abuse and sexual misconduct. Friday confirmation of Hegseth, a 44-year-old former Fox News personality and decorated veteran, is seen as a victory for President Donald Trump and his opposition from all Democrats and Independents and 3 Republican members of the Senate. What did Hegseth say in the defense confirmation hearing? Trump's Pentagon pick faced Senate confirmation hearing that his Pentagon's chief nominee Pete Hegseth as controversy marked. It was only the second time in history a cabinet nominee needed a tie break to be confirmed. The first was also a Trump nominee, Betsy DeVos, who became Education Secretary in 2017. Hegseth, who is promising to bring major changes to the Pentagon, takes over as defense chief amid the war in Ukraine, ceasefires in Lebanon and Gaza, as well as the push of the Trump administration to expand the military role on the US-Mexico border. He is seen as the most divisive candidate to clinch the US military top job. The 3 Republican senators who voted against Hegseth were Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and Mitch McConnell, the party's leader in chamber, until this month. McConnell said has failed to demonstrate that he has the ability to effectively manage an organization as large and complex as the military. UN Secretary called for Rwandan forces to leave DRC as rebel press offensive. Qatar says agreement reached to release Israel captives allow Palestinians to return to North Gaza. So XF will leave 1.3 million active duty service members and almost 1 million civilians who work for the US military, which has near $1 trillion annual budget. XF told lawmakers that until this point, the largest group he has managed was 100 people and the largest budget was $60 million. His nomination was also rocked by a series of accusations, including one this week by his former sister-in-law, who said he abused his second wife to the extent that she hid in the closet and had a code word to use with friend if she had to be rescued. XF strongly denied the accusation, and his wife has previously denied any physical abuse. Trump says Jordan, Egypt should take in Palestinians from Gaza. Egypt and Jordan push back. US President Donald Trump said Jordan and Egypt should take in Palestinians from war-ravaged Gaza, a suggestion rejected by Hamas, the Palestinian militant group that runs the enclave, and apparently rebuffed by Jordan and Egypt. Asked if this was a temporary or long-term solution for Gaza, where Israel military assault has caused a dire humanitarian situation and killed tens of thousands, Trump said on Saturday could be either. Jordan is already home to several million Palestinians, while tens of thousands live in Egypt. Both countries and other Arab nations reject the idea of Palestinians in Gaza being moved to other countries. Gaza is land that Palestinians will want as part of a future Palestinian state. Israel Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, who was repeatedly called for the return of Jewish settlers to Gaza, welcomed Trump's call as an excellent idea and said he will work to develop a plan to implement it. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reportedly rejected such notions advocated by Smotrich. A Hamas official echoed long-standing Palestinians' fear about being driven permanently from their homes. Palestinians will not accept any offers of solution, even if such offers appear to have good intentions under the guise of reconstruction, and as announced in the proposal of the US President Trump, Bassem Naim, member of the Hamas political bureau, told Reuters. Another Hamas official, Sami Abu Zuri, urged Trump not to repeat failed ideas tried by his predecessor Joe Biden. The people of Gaza have endured death and refuse to leave their homeland, and they will not leave it regardless of any other reasons, Abu Zuri told Reuters. Jordan also appeared to reject Trump's rejection, with his foreign minister Ayman Sadat Fadi telling reporters that the country's stance against any displacement of Palestinians from Gaza remains firm and unwavering. Egypt's foreign ministry follows suit, saying it categorically rejects any displacement of Palestinians from their land, be it short-term or long-term. Western Bank Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas condemned Trump's remarks. Our people will remain steadfast and will not leave their homeland, said a statement published by the official Palestinian news agency Wafa. Palestinian analyst Ghassam Al-Khatib said Palestinians in the occupied West Bank and Gaza, as well as Jordanians and Egyptians, would reject Trump's plan. I don't think that there is a place in reality for such an idea. Referring to a call he had on Saturday with Jordan King Abdullah, Trump told reporters, asserting, I would love you to take on more because I'm looking at the old Gaza Strip right now and it's a mess. It's a real mess. I would like him to take people. He added, I would like Egypt to take people, and said he will speak to Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Sunday. You're talking about 1.5 million people, and we just clean out the old thing, Trump said. The population in the Palestinian enclave prior to the start of the Israeli-Gaza war was around 2.3 million. Washington has said last year it opposed the first civil displacement of Palestinians, right bills into humanitarian agencies for months, raised concern over the situation in Gaza, with the war displacing nearly the entire population and leading to a hunger crisis. It is literally a demolition site. Almost everything is demolished and people are dying there. So I'd rather get involved with some of the Arab nations and build housing at a different location where they can maybe live in peace for a change, Trump said on Saturday. In a post on X, Francesca Albanese, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the occupied Palestine territory, said ethnic cleansing is anything but an out-of-the-box thinking. No matter how one packages, it is illegal, immoral, and irresponsible. Most of the Gaza population has been internally displaced by the war. On Sunday, many of them reject Trump's suggestion. If he thinks he will possibly displace the Palestinian people, then this is impossible. Impossible, impossible. The Palestinian people firmly believe that this land is theirs, this soil is their soil, said Mahdi Seda. No matter how much Israel tried to destroy, break, and to show people that it has won, in reality, it did not win. The current Gaza conflict was triggered on October 7, 2023, when Hamas attacked Israel, killing about 1,200 people and taking around 250 hostages, according to Israeli tallies. Israel's subsequent military assault on Gaza has killed more than 47,000 people, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. The fighting has currently paused amid a fragile ceasefire. That is the end of this broadcast. Stay tuned for other exciting programs from the stable of the Sumtv. We're beaming live from the city of Jalingo, Taraba State. I am Ibrahim Joda. Stay blessed.